Hey, it's Djemini. Welcome to the 5225 podcast. I have a very special episode. I'm here with my band, and I'm really excited on the songs that we recorded and that we have for you. And so we're going to be breaking them down, but before we do, we're going to be giving a little bit of our backstory. So how we all met and started working and playing together and created all of these songs. So I'm going to start over here to my left with Mr. Mykel Illa, that Illa guy, holding it down on bass and silky vocals as always. Mykel, go ahead and take it away.
That's me. Yeah, do you want me to give my recollection on how I met all y'all or just you?
Let's go everybody.
Right on.
We've been in together.
We'll start with you then. I met you just randomly going to one of those producer night things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shout out to Rain Ezra.
Yeah.
She was hosting a really epic, all of the events that she has where a bunch of producers get together. We have these challenges to make a song in 30 minutes.
Oh,
and I was actually hosting that one at my place. And that's where Mykel came, and I was like, yo, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Brought his bass.
Walked in, I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Nice to meet you, homie.
Yeah. And then we just
the vibes were there. Yeah. And then I think, did we exchange numbers that day or we exchanged Instagrams? And then it was number over Instagram. Something like
one
that.
way or another. But then we got connected real quick, and I was like, yo, this guy's dope. And we could see something cool happening.
I thought the same thing, especially just like, I don't know, just your whole vibe, and then being able to hear your stuff as well, and then like hearing the beginnings of what you were creating was awesome.
Thanks, man.
And then when you invited me over, you're like, yeah, we should hang out. And I was like, yeah. I would love to. I was like, oh my God, I'm so flattered. Yeah. And then we met up and then wrote a song that night.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, and then I think
and then Sal. Me and Sal have mentioned that we don't know how we met, but it was always in passing. It was like, oh, hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yeah.
Random little music thing.
Know each other, love each other.
And to this day, I cannot remember why, but I always wanted to work with you. And it's actually, if you go on Jimmy's Jambox, if you ever watch that, one of his questions is like, what's a local musician or artist or something in music that you want to work with? I was like, Sal was part of college. Like, I've seen his stuff, and after, like, it was not even maybe 2 months after that, we basically were chatting. He asked me to be part of this lovely band, and I was like, oh, I'd be honored. And so he was telling me about the members and whatnot, and he's like, oh yeah, like, yeah, Sal's gonna be playing guitar, and I was like, wait, like Sal? And it was Sal. And then that's also goes perfectly into how I met Mark. I had no idea who Mark was, and he was explaining the band to me, and he's like, oh yeah, I got this buddy Mark. He plays for the Barrel Room and whatnot. And actually, while we were filming my music video, you were to catch me up on all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You were walking down
Whoa.
close to your place. I forget what street that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were telling me about everybody, and I was like, oh, sick. Yeah, glad to meet him. And then we met at our first rehearsal for your birthday show.
Wow. Yeah. So then that was in April, I think. So yeah. So I think then I'll toss it over to you, Mark, then to how we met, kind of backstory of that, and then it'll catch up, and then we'll go into like when we got to Page Street and then the birthday and all that. So yeah, Mark, go ahead.
So I've been playing at the Barrel Room downtown in Portland. It's a dueling piano show, so I've been playing there for about 10 years. And I've had the opportunity over the years, especially these last couple years, to really immerse myself in the music community, which has been awesome. And so one night how I met these guys, or at least Djemini, there's a cafe connected to the bar, and they were doing like a concert, like a show. And we were having like an open jam, and we were still open late, and they all came over, and we just jammed out for like 2 hours, I think. And we were just all vibing, just locked in. And that's when I met Samara as well. So that was the first time I played with Djemini. It was me, Djemini, and Samara Davis.
Yeah. And Samara reached out to me because we had done like an acoustic set together a couple months prior to me meeting Mark, and it just went well. It was we played with Rain and Talia, and it was just so much fun. And she was like, yo, I really want to like do a full band thing though. And so I said, cool, if you find people to play with, like, let's run it, let's do it, I'm super down. And so yeah, she got the whole group together, and then I met Mark during that rehearsal. So kind of how you met Mark
exactly
at our rehearsal was how I met Mark, basically. Like,
I might have lied though. I think actually the first time I met you was at that show with Samara for the 420 thing.
Oh, that's right. I think you did
I think
come
that
through.
was the first time I met you.
That's right.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
I forgot that we even had that
Yep.
show too.
That's
Wow.
Yeah, you said that, and I was like, oh,
We're
wait a minute. That was when I met
unpacking
you.
this band,
I know,
this
right?
rich
'Cause it
band
was
history for you.
Actually,
Such a
okay.
passing,
Like an
like,
onion.
oh, hi, Mark, cool.
Yeah, what up, dude?
I think that's all we exchanged.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So that was then in early April is when we did the first show because we
Yep.
played at Big LaGrousey, rest in peace. Very sad because that was a cool venue.
It was.
But yeah, we played a show there. It was a really full set. I think it was probably, I don't know. That was like my first taste of playing in a live band too, because up to that point, I hadn't played in a band.
Nice.
And so
That's
that,
cool.
yeah.
That's
So for
right,
me,
yeah.
that was like, even though I was just playing guitar, it was like my first taste of like, whoa, this is what it's like to like, you know, connect with the bass player and then like, you know, look at the drummer and look at the keys player and all that. And I had always wanted to do that, but up until this time last year, I had never played with like a group of people.
That's crazy.
And so when I met Mark, it was during those rehearsals that after the rehearsals were done, Samara had to leave. I was like, hey man, if you got a little time, like I've got songs that I'm working on that I'd love to be able to play with you if you'd be down to give it a go. And you're like, yeah. So I just start jamming. The guitar's still plugged in. I start playing. I step up to the mic and I start singing. And Mark just instantly, boom, right in the pocket. I was like, oh, this is the guy.
Yeah.
This is the guy.
Like I said, we were vibing immediately. Like all of us.
Yeah. And so,
and the way I met Sal actually is pretty funny. I'm a little bit of a fanboy actually, just like Mykel.
Oh my God, we both little
Yep.
fanboys.
Yeah, we're little fanboys, dude. Back in like, it would have been 2017 or 18. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we went to a So Far show,
yeah.
and it was Sal, and I was just like, we were both just like, yeah.
This guy's got it.
It was just baby making music, dude. It was so smooth, and I was like, damn, dude, this guy is fucking killer, right? And long story short, we all get hooked up this last year, and then Djemini is introducing us, and we're getting this group together, and he's like, yeah, Sal is gonna come. And I'm like, wait a second, I've seen this guy play before. I was like, oh shit, no way, dude. Like, am I really, like, I'm playing the
Salvatore Manalo.
Yes.
Respect
So,
his name.
yeah. And dude, it's just been so much fun.
Yeah,
So much fun.
Yeah, so I think that kind of goes to origin story of how we all kind of met one another. We played those shows, and then after I kind of played those songs for you, I was like, cool, I think I have a semblance of a band, because Sal and I at that point, we were right in the midst of, we had just rolled out Just Upon, and then we started our work on Soul Sing. And so right at the time we started, because we started recording or writing all those songs in March of last year. So it was really cool to how quickly that all came to life. And in the same time being like, okay, we're playing these shows, things are starting to happen, I'm meeting more musicians. And then, from there, I was like, okay, I already knew that I wanted to play with Sal. And then meeting you guys, then it was just this natural, like, okay, we kind of have all of the ingredients to make a band and really bring these songs to life. And so coming off the back of Just Upon being out, I really want to play these in a live experience. So before we even get to like the full show, the best way we can get ready for the show and kill two birds with one stone is to get into doing like a live version of all of these songs, recorded at Page Street, having epic video of it.
So sick.
And so I think that's where I'll turn it over to you, Sal, is to I think even talking about the context of how we got to doing Page Street with Try and everything else, leading up to then doing Just Upon live. So curious of like some of your backstory. Before Sal dives in, if you're interested in our story and how we met, we actually have the Soul Sync podcast, which is our duo. You can check that out. We're yapping on that one about how we met and influences, all these things. So if you're interested in the boys' backstory, you can check that out. But we'll keep it short for this one so we can all talk about us as a group. But yeah, I think the context before our Page Street Live, what you kind of had that initial thought of beginning of last year when we were doing that, and then leading up to then when we did Just Upon.
Gotcha. Yeah, like we had just finished recording with my other project, Hiroki, a live version of the song that we did, and it was around the same time, I think, like when we were starting to talk about doing the live versions for Just Upon, because we just finished like recording and like produced all like buttoned up, and it was super dope. And I remember like walking into rehearsal like for the first one for your show. I was like, like you said, like I feel like we met before.
We definitely did, and I cannot for the life of remember.
Just like a mist.
Because like the last time I remember seeing you was at the JC Proof show, like 2 years ago, back when I first started playing with them. Yeah. And then, like, I saw you, I was like, oh, what's up, Sal?
Probably
like, hey, Mykel.
it, yeah.
And then I was with Taylor, and she was like, who's that? Oh, Sal, he's great. And she's like, oh, yeah, you guys are friends. I go, I won't say friends, but, like, I know him.
Yeah, I think
like
we probably, like, DM'd over the years.
Friends.
Now we're friends.
Now we're the best of friends. I love it. It's just serendipity.
Oh, yeah.
And then... yeah, it's crazy. And then like I saw Mark there, and then you had mentioned like you had seen me before a couple years ago. Like, oh, another Asian.
we were talking about before recording that we are the United Nations.
We are,
because we're representing kind of everything. We're like a good mix. Mykel and I are both mixed. We're representing
German, Iran. Well, I guess it's. I call it Persian because it sounds cooler, but Iran now.
So
and Prince of Persia, baby.
Where in Africa? I don't know, some kind of African American.
Yeah, so we got all that represented. We got the Pacific Islander and the white side of that too, of course. And of course, most people are like, either it's always divided. It's either okay, this is just another white guy, or everybody. Most of all the ethnic people are like, you obviously are something. I get Filipino all the time.
It's that spicy
I can
white.
see
So
that.
that is my Filipino brethren right here.
Kindred spirits.
And so we're repping the Philippines, and then I mean, Mark, I think like a interesting background too, for all of us to be able to have, we're representing different.
You don't know where
Asia.
I'm from, huh?
No, you're from Korea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you
I was like,
you forget?
I was gonna see if you wanted to go into the story, but yeah. So Mark's Korean, Filipino. I'm Chamorro. My mom's from Guam, and then we got Prince of Persia and Black. And so all that to say, that's our ethnic pitch for all diversity, equity, inclusion.
There we go.
If you're looking for a band to invest in that covers all areas of the globe, we got you covered. And anyway, to Sal's point of when we all assembled as a group, we were like, wow, look at this amazing group of people. And at the time too, we had Rain Ezra was playing with us as well. So how Mykel and I met, Rain, before she moved to LA, she was down to play keys and sing with us for that recording. And so you'll see here.
Ultimate connector.
Yeah, she is connector supreme.
Ultimate.
And we miss you, Rain. She was part of, she is the featured artist on Try. And so I got to know her a little bit before there, but then that was an experience that filming that, because I filmed that video with this whole giant crew of how many people? We have like 12,
11 or 12.
Yeah, 11 or 12 musicians all packed in Page Street. We had horn players, we had backup singers, we had keyboard, organ, the whole nine.
Yeah.
And so that was just an epic experience, and I enjoyed filming that so much that I was like, okay, I want to do something like that with my band. And after our first rehearsal, I was starting to see, I was like, oh, this can totally be the real thing.
It is. It's happening.
See, my guys don't miss a beat. That's how you know.
That song is so good.
That's how you know. Anyway, that was. This is gonna keep going, right?
Let me check. Yeah, I was about to say. Like,
yeah.
Quality control.
Look at that, still cooking. All right,
we're good.
Uncut though, so this is just how it is when you're hanging out with the boys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Should I blur it out?
Yeah, they got paid for that.
Paywall.
That's a separate. That's a separate site.
Check my OnlyFans.
Make the plug.
There we go.
Whoa.
Sorry.
It's a father.
He's a Sorry,
fathers need to make money too.
Okay.
My socks are 3 for 1 right now.
Anyway, as we started to get those rehearsals in and work up to recording at Page Street, it was just it was such a fun experience. I think all of us hanging out and playing together and bringing the songs to life. it was also like more than just the experience as musicians. I think it was just a fun experience as people, and as we all got to know each other and become either we were good friends or becoming friends, or we were just meeting and like playing together, but then we all very quickly became really good friends, and there was just this unique camaraderie that existed from playing these songs together. And then as soon as we did Page Street and we were able to see that and have those recordings, it was like, oh, we're here and we mean business. And so we recorded that all in May, and then fast forward to June was when we did my birthday show, and I really wanted to bring the energy for that show and just make it the best possible. And so we added to the band even more. Wavy Joseph played keys, and Rain was able to sing and play tambourine and all these other things. So it was awesome, man. It was just an amazing group. And then being able to continue to work, with the four of us has been really special. So that show was amazing. We played all the Just Upon songs. We played other songs, most of which are these songs actually that you're hearing. And so we played, I think that's a perfect segue to get into the songs. Now that we've kind of established a little bit of our backstory, was part of the songs we played once we were done with Page Street were these ones that we then introduced. To build out a full set list, I had Lead Me On was something I wrote in 2023. And then I had Forbidden Vine that I wrote shortly before that. It was spring of last year. So that was a recent song once we started working together. I think it was March or April of last year. And then Off Your Feet was the song that was right before Just Upon. So right before all the heartbreak, I got one love song in, and then my heart was shattered.
No.
You don't need to talk about it. You can just listen to Just Upon.
It explains it all.
It explains it all, for real. And now we just get to add on to that, because after Off Your Feet, Lead Me On was what I wrote actually when I was done with the four of Just Upon. That was like the next song that I wrote after all those. And had we continued it or made like a deluxe or made a part 2, then this would have started that, because this goes right after, sequentially right after Gone, where Gone is the last song of Just Upon, and it's begging that question of the title of, was I just a pawn in your game, and what was I to you? Was this just like, what was this? And then after that, some time of reflection goes by, and I'm asking God, why did this woman lead me on? And so I think that we'll get into now. I think that. Oh, and then of course covered the first 3, and then Do It Anyway was actually the first song that Mykel and I wrote during that. It was January of last year, where we just met each other in December, and then we were texting back and forth, and I was like, yeah, you should come over. Came over, and then in like an hour we wrote Do It Anyway from scratch. It was our first time hanging out, writing together, all this stuff.
Wow,
and so we made that song, and it was just it was just one that we held on for a long time, and then we played it through the summer and through the fall. It was just always like a really fun song to play. And because Mykel's singing on that, with me, we trade verses on that. It's such a fun dynamic switch, throughout the set. And so when it came time to thinking about for 5225 what we wanted to do, and all I knew was I want Sal at the helm for one of these groups of 4, and whatever that unfolds into, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and it's gonna be great. And then when I started to put together the idea of what if we did live versions, then it really was like, oh, we could do this and go really old school with it, and record everything here, record it, we're like all together as if we were really performing. And so that's exactly what we did. So I think that now flip it over to you guys, and we'll start with Off Your Feet. We'll just go in the order of the set list of, as you were recording it or playing these songs over the summer, what were things that you guys feel about the song, and then recording it, and now having the videos from it and everything, like getting ready. The time we're recording this, we're getting ready to release everything. How are you guys feeling about it? How you feel about this song? And we'll kind of go song by song.
Am I starting this one?
Yeah.
I love Off Your Feet. I love it, and I love and hate myself for choosing the bass line I chose for it, because I just like to make my life so difficult. But
worth it.
The song is
worth it indeed.
So worth it.
But no, the song itself is just great. It gets you off your feet. It makes you want to get up and dance.
Oh man!
And in my opinion, like it's because like you a master of love songs. We got love songs. We got sex songs. And then this is I'm just trying to find out what I'm great at. I don't know. I'm everywhere, but it's different than like what we normally play, which is like the kind of love or the heartbreak songs. And like in my opinion, even though it's still a love song, it has more of a party vibe, and I love that. I love that.
That's so beautifully said, bro. I appreciate you saying that because I obviously wrote it and think about it up until what you just said about sweeping somebody off their feet in a romantic sense. But you saying it of like people getting off their feet to dance and to move, I think that the groove of this song and how much fun we have playing it is a really beautiful way to kind of take ownership of the song again. That instead of it, is a song, that I got from this girl who ended up breaking my heart, it was more of like, no, this is a song that I get to get people moving, and a song that we made, and a song that we now get to share.
I'll be real, I never even connected the whole sweeping off your feet, even though that's like one of the first lines in the song. That never clicked. I thought it was about hey, we never said I was the brightest. Okay.
Hey, well, look, we're informing each other.
The drummer on these.
Did that, and I was like, that makes sense. That makes sense. That was smart.
Hey, all you need to know is he made a saucy bass line.
Hey, that's all I. Hey,
that's
I don't sing on it. I'm fine.
Yeah, that's all I need.
I didn't tell what it's about.
But yeah, so I think that song, I'm so glad that I was able to make that in the time that I did, and then kind of preserve that and bring it to the guys. And I think that was what was so fun, was during those rehearsals, all leading up to the show, every time I introduced a new song to the mix, there were new ideas that you guys, as such pros at doing what you do, I get to be the beneficiary of y'all, being just like monsters at what you do in your own respect. And that for me was so special, that I'm like, man, I get to work with some of the best, that people who are actively trying to get you guys to do other things, and I'm like, dang, how did you get Mark, or how did you get Sal, or how did you get, I got those questions all the time from other musicians around town, and I was just like, I'm like that. I didn't say that, but but no, I think it was a testament to the chemistry that we just had off rip, and then the quality of music that we were able to make together. And so these guys breathed new life into all of these songs that I couldn't have imagined when I was sitting in my living room writing them by myself with an acoustic guitar and electric guitar. Like, to now have them in the way that they are is really special. So I think before we move on to the second song, Sal, Mark, do you guys have thoughts on Off Your Feet?
I mean, I think just like you said, I'm just very thankful to be, I don't know how we stumbled upon all of us, but yeah, you guys are phenomenal musicians, and like we all make each other better, which is always fun. Fresh ideas, we're bouncing stuff, like we're able to talk openly to each other, and I just think we've been on the same page ever, like I said, I mean, we were grooving that first night. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, okay. Yeah, and then it's just helped me also just like gain that confidence. We're all musicians, we got to keep that ego fed.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard sometimes,
like
you're your own worst, critic, and just getting the positive feedback from you guys, just knowing like, okay, I'm writing stuff that makes sense, and it's like, okay.
You're writing stuff that's money, dude.
Yeah,
so good.
All of you guys.
Yeah, man,
it's awesome. So
thank you, brother. That collective effort has been so fun, and I think it's seeing that. Going from me and Sal just working, one-on-one, sitting in here for hours on end, working on Just a Pawn, to then bring a whole new level of what this could be, adding people to the group and going beyond what, neither of us are drummers, neither of us are bass players. So, that was something really special to go beyond these initial ideas that we had and that we can build out. To a whole nother level. So yeah, I mean, Sal, anything kind of on the start of this, and when you first heard these songs, you're the one who's heard my music probably more than any human on this planet. So
I'm a huge fan, obviously. For Off Your Feet especially, I think because we had just we finished up Just Upon, and I feel like as songwriters, songs are just snapshots of like moments of your life. And like, damn, this guy's going through it.
Yeah.
And then I heard Off Your Feet. I was like, he was happy at one point. So it was like, it was a nice like, oh, this is something different, and like, in the best way possible. I mean, like, it was cool to see the story unfold, even if the situation wasn't. So it was just really fun to play, and yeah, I just loved it, like, right off the cuff. So
Yeah. Sweet. Mark, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Oh boy.
Because moving on into the second song, which is Mark's favorite. And this is Lead Me On. I actually wrote this song on my parents' piano. And so I was visiting home. This was, a couple months after everything went down. And anytime I sit down on my parents' piano, I always do something very emotional. And I just remember one evening I wrote that. And that was one of the first moments where my dad, like, he was in the kitchen or something, and he poked his head into the living room where the piano is. And he was like, "What song is that?" And I was like, "I just wrote that." He's like, "Just now?" I was like, "Yeah." And first and foremost, he probably had the same thought you guys did of like, "Damn, my son is going through it."
Yeah.
But then on the other side of that, he was also like, "Oh, wow, this is a tier above what I've heard from my son before." And so I think that there is something really special, even though it was a painful song to write, an experience to go through. Being able to channel it into there and then translate that from just me and a piano to then playing as a group was also super special. So yeah, Mark, why is it this one? If you were to, I know it's probably just the feeling of it, but if you were to dissect it, what is it about this song that resonates with you the most, and why you love it?
Well, I think the big thing, kind of you touched on it, is terrible heartbreak, right? But you had this outlet in music, and you created this beautiful song. And for me, the melodic line of your vocals is so good. And I think just the overall groove of it, it's like, for me, it's just very subtle, which is actually kind of a challenge for a lot of drummers, right? Like playing soft, slower tempo, right? Keeping that in the pocket. So it's a good challenge for me, being very tasteful with what I'm playing. But yeah, I mean, just the content of the lyric, like, you just feel your emotion, and I just love it. Like, again, the melodic line in that, it's so good. It's so good.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks, bro.
I can't help just like singing along when I'm playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just always in my head.
Oh,
It's good.
thank you, man.
Yep.
Wow, damn. I'm so happy with what it's turned into, and I do feel that every time we perform it. It's something that's one almost without fail, that anytime I sing, that there's going to be somebody who comes up to me after the show and says something about it. And so
All the ladies, bro, did.
they're
Yeah.
like, "I won't put you through that."
Nope.
lies.
"I won't treat you like her."
I won't lead you
Yeah,
on.
lies. They lie. They keep lying.
We've heard it.
It's happened again and again, boys. Just Upon 2's coming soon. Just kidding.
Hey, heartbreak
Oh my God.
makes great music.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Hey,
I'm
that's
just
what
gonna
they
keep channeling it into all the songs, and you guys can enjoy them. And yeah. Eventually, we'll get to like some lovey-dovey songs when we get down to, when I got a ring on my finger. But
Oh, boy.
But until then, Heartbreak City, baby.
Sad boys for Lord.
Sad boys. But man, you guys thoughts on Lead Me On?
Yeah, the first time I heard you play it was, I think, same thing. Like, we just finished Just Upon, and we're like, "Oh, let's just cut like a rough demo of it, just to have it." Yeah, and like the first time we played it, I was like sitting right here because I think it was the end, and I was like 1 a.m. like exhausted.
Yeah, we were working.
Yeah, and then you played it. I don't know if I was tired or it just like hit me just right. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
I think you might even have.
I think I do
Yes.
have the video of that. I'll try and find it, but they're yeah,
Look
for
up
real.
here.
Yeah, there's Sal actually crying.
Yeah.
But no, I do remember that because I think I even had my phone set up at the desk, and you were like actually, yeah, like there was like, see Sal actually crying in real time to this song, and I was like, I felt strongly about it, but then I saw his reaction, and I saw him being excited to want to cut a demo for it, and so I played piano for it, and we worked on it. But then it was just something that it never felt right, and we just jumped right to soul sync.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always wanted to circle back to it, and I couldn't have thought of a better way to go about it than with you guys. So yeah, before we move on, Mykel, lead me on.
I mean, I think they said it all. The only thing I'd add is, and I told you this, I just love the breathiness in your voice. You can hold a strong note or just a strong melodic line, but the breathiness and airiness, I'm jealous. I want it. I've been trying to practice it. It's okay with you. I've been trying to listen to that, like that more sensual kind of music. I'm trying to work on it because I'm just loud. But yeah, no, it is a beautiful song. It's one of my favorites to play.
Yeah,
because I could just vibe out. There's not too many backing vocals, so I can just play it and just listen to you do it. It's Taylor's favorite song.
Oh wow, that's cool. Thanks, Taylor. No, that I think before we move on, I'll just button that one up by saying I always knew from when I first wrote it, I was like, this is going to be a ballad, no matter what form it takes shape in, that I'm going to play forever. And I just felt that so strongly when I wrote it, and then getting my dad's reaction, like the minute I first sang it all the way through after writing it and getting him popping in, being like, oh, like, what is that? And I was like, oh, I just made that. And then getting him be kind of so shocked. It was that confirmation that I was going in the right direction. And then when I brought it to you guys and we were able to play it in the way that we do, and how true to partially what it could have been like in my head, but even better than that. And like, that's the same thing where the opportunity to be able to do that with you guys is so special, because I'm like, I couldn't have thought of your, like you said, like the gentle approach to how you play the drums on this is like, not a lot of people can do that. And it gives this song this like extra emotional pull. And your cymbal work, through all 4 of these is insanity. Especially this next one we'll get into. Goodness. But this one, it just adds those extra touches that again tug at your heartstrings a little more, that I couldn't do all the way just with the guitar, just with the piano. And then I also don't want to overshadow or overlook Sal's guitar that really made this song.
Oh my God.
That without all of the amazing lead stuff that now is melodically stuck in my head, that I wouldn't have even ever thought of, because I'm just playing, rhythm guitar throughout this whole song, is something that it our 2 guitars together, we've said this to each other many times, but it just elevates one another to a whole new level. And because I'm singing, I can play very simple, strums or little pick patterns, and Sal's able to do that, all of that is so next level. And it just, we're making the song cry and we're making the people cry. And so yeah, without Sal's guitar, and then the way, like, to round it out, like, Mykel, your approach to this, and how you can dress up bass lines and songs like Off Your Feet or Forbidden Vine, and then like the depth and presence that you're able to provide in something that's supposed to hit this way and that make it feel like dense, that is everything that I wanted this song to be as well. And so I love that song, boys, and I just appreciate you guys seeing my vision for it, and then being able to now play it a lot of times and now have it in the form that it is honestly the best version of this song that I could have asked for. I'm glad that we never finished that demo, because then this wouldn't have happened. We would have done a different song and it wouldn't have been as beautiful as it is now. So thank you guys. We'll just get into the banger, More Heartbreak City. But man, this one,
about how it sounds. Party.
Yeah, man. Forbidden Vine. This is another heart wrencher, man. It was another one of those ones, like, after Lead Me On, months later, I was reflecting on it more of like I'm gonna take ownership of this situation, and I'm tired of being sad, and I'm gonna really talk my shit on this record, and I'm gonna let her know that, yeah, I did this situation, and maybe that was my fault, but now I'm gonna let you know in the form of this song that, I'm not gonna let that happen again, and you missed out. So I think, again, I wrote that kind of around this time last year, but let's unpack that one. I think Sal, I'll start with you on when you first heard that song, and then when we brought it to life, like kind of what that process was like, and then what you injected into the song as well, like both guitar wise and vocally, and then we haven't talked too much about the production. I think we can do that kind of to end and wrap it up, talk about all four of them, but to go into the song in particular. Forbidden
Vine, when I first heard it, I was like, damn, this is groovy. I think you three just like probably went to the bathroom or something like during rehearsal, and then you guys like started rocking on it, and then I was like, ooh, I gotta jump on this. And it's like one of those where you feel excited to play it. And I don't do a whole lot in that song, honestly. And I think it should be that way just because the melody and like lyrics and just the whole groove does so much already, like with you guys holding down the biggest pockets. And I'm just like doing my little, just adding little things here and there.
The flavor,
just letting it breathe.
Little MSG.
MSG, so good for you.
So good for you. So good for me. So yeah, that's just like ultimate fun to play on. And and like recording it, I knew it would be just a breeze because we always just like lock in and have so much fun. Yeah.
That's how we start almost every show, because once we played it a couple times to kick off the set, we were like, that response to that song is strong.
It's an attention catcher.
Oh,
yeah. And it's like, we often will play as a 3-piece, but but having Sal in it, like, don't diminish your little on the guitar, because it adds so much.
It's going.
I hope that's not offensive in any way.
No.
But no, like those make it for me. Like, I love
your bass line in that is just so.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say next.
Your like cymbal work. It's just all so funky.
The triplet runs in that. Mykel, your bass line is like me and you locked in on that. That's like this is our song.
I'm just singing on this thing.
We're just like, should we give these to a room?
The drummer and bass connection. It's a
beautiful thing.
We lock it.
It's a special thing. Yeah. But no, I think that as soon as I brought it to you guys, it was. I mean, probably right when I played it, you just started like going crazy on this bass line. I was like, I don't know where that came from. I think Mark and I had the same reaction. Mark was jamming with it. We're all kind of figuring out what we want to play. And Mykel just pulls that. I was like, I've shown the video of it to a couple of my friends here before it comes out. And the note that everybody has said was like, your bassist is going crazy, because they can see your fingers, and then your left hand.
Putting on a masterclass over
I'm a busy boy.
I'm a busy boy.
It kind of goes back to leading me on, like what you were saying about I'm also a busy player. I like to fill space, so like having to dial back on leading me on was hard. But then like you just being like, do your thing on this song, I was like, yes sir. I heard you say
because once I heard that bass line, that's what helped me come up with my cymbal pattern.
You do the cymbal matching that.
That's what we were gonna say next.
That one was fun.
The cymbals.
Yes.
And it just flowed so easy. I was just like, yep.
I haven't talked about this with you guys in probably months, but I have the very first recording. We'll play it after we're done here. Just a voice memo recording of when we played that at rehearsal. And we were just jamming, and literally we're done with the song, and you're like, oh, that was such a fun groove. And then we just all kind of start playing again, or like you guys then just started playing it. You started doing the cymbals again, so Mykel jumps in, Sal jumps in. I'm like, okay, I guess we're going. And then that was the patented Djemini and the Mercuries coming for your ass. And so that was fresh in that second or third rehearsal or whatever it is. Where I was like, yo, we are a band for real. And now if you haven't been able to see through the shows and now all these visuals and having these songs and everything else that we've done, it's like, no, we're here. We're here to make a statement. We're here to let Portland know what's up and go far beyond the city. And I think that what we've been able to do in these songs is really special. So that jam, I mean, it was like another 2 minutes that we went after we were done with the song where we were all just jamming and going crazy. And you were like pulling out like the wah pedal and going crazy. And then Mykel started. I was like, yo, what is going on? But I love it. And again, I am just blessed and fortunate to be the beneficiary of these guys being so legendary, because if you went 3 months prior, I had never played with a band or other musicians in a setting like that. And now I get to be here just jamming with legends like this. I'm like, what dream am I living in right now? This is the coolest thing. I don't even care if nobody ever hears this. This is just like so euphoric. And so to be able to do that, but now actually having people hear it and people want us at shows and being able to do this with you guys and now have these records that we can really stand on forever is so special. And I think that this vocally might be my favorite one that I do because I think it showcases my vocal range the best. And there's a lot of things that are kind of lower in the pocket in the verses and that really pick it up during the pre-choruses and hooks of this song. And then everybody always, loves the little Prince flavor that I bring at the end.
Oh, do you love me? Oh, I love that. Dude, that and the pre-chorus of this song are some of my favorite ones.
Yeah, man. So I love so many parts of this song, and bringing it all together to this is just so special. So I think like we could probably talk about these for a long time, but I think like we'll go into Do It Anyway, and then we'll kind of talk about the recording process, and then button it up with just what we did recently with actually recording all the videos for it, and kind of call it there. But yeah, I mean, Mykel, I'll start with you on Do It Anyway. Kind of initial recollection of when we wrote the song and played it together, and then like kind of fast forward to then when we brought it to the guys.
Yeah, it was fun writing it because normally, like I feel like a lot of people though, when they write music, it's with like a piano, a guitar, and like I have to do it with a bass.
Yes,
and it's kind of a pain in the butt for me sometimes because I'm not a chord guy. But it was really nice just being able to come over, bring my bass, my little amp, and being able to like you flesh out the sexy chord choosings. I'm a fan of sevenths, and you are also a fan of sevenths.
That's all I play.
I love it. But then being able to kind of just like go back and forth on that, but also figure out as we're writing it, what is this even about? What's our goal here? And then trying to make like something catchy but fun and relatable.
Yes.
And I think it's very relatable.
Yes.
And people hopefully like pop off on TikTok or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah. We felt that when we first wrote it. We were like, this is something where everybody knows that moment when you're about to make a questionable decision and you know that you shouldn't do it. You know that it's wrong. But and you just do it anyway.
Just gotta do it anyway.
Because, well, we thought about that whole idea of like what, a relationship would look like. And you're in like, I probably shouldn't go see this person. I probably shouldn't be talking to this person or all these other things. But like, whatever, we're gonna go for it. And so we kind of just made this scenario up in our head, and it really connected between the two of us, and we were just having a lot of fun with it. And then everything else, once we had the narrative down, everything else just really flowed, and we had so much fun, like line for line of all these hilarious things to say that I think are said in a really coy way, that it's not too on the nose. And that's how I like to write all my songs, is having stuff that's really, if you really dissect it, you can understand like, whoa, did he really just say that? But it's not in your face of like, I'm not even gonna swear right now, but there's a lot of expletives that I could say right now that would take the place of what we say in a very smooth way on this song. And so I think that because we did that, it almost makes it like a really, I don't want to say family friendly, but it kind of in the way that it feels like, if you're not paying too much attention to what the story is about, it does feel like just a groove and so much fun. And it is definitely the most like upbeat jam
I think it's
everything that we have.
Yeah, definitely the poppiest.
Yeah, definitely the poppiest. And I think that we just found a really cool zone with that. And then, we had written it, and we had this demo of just, him playing bass and me playing guitar, and then the two of us singing together for a long time. But then when we brought it to the guys and started to play with it, then it really came to life.
Oh yeah.
And it was something then through the whole summer we're like, we're gonna eventually get to recording Do It Anyway and all these things. And then when the opportunity came around for us to do this project, I was like, Do It Anyway is mandatory. It has to be here. And it just, when we thought of all the other songs, it just made the most sense to bring it home. That Off Your Feet provides the context of everything in Lead Me On, Forbidden Vine, the entirety of Just a Pawn. It sets the stage for that. It's a fun love song. It, gets people off their feet, like Mykel said. And then it goes into a bit of that heartbreak. So right in the middle, the meat of this project is Lead Me On and Forbidden Vine, this heartbreak, but also kind of taking ownership and how about that? You miss me now? type of feeling on Forbidden Vine, and like, yeah, I messed up, but now I'm making up for that and I'm making these songs. And then moving on from that situation to, you know what? Okay, now I've started to get over that situation, and what some may describe as gallivanting around.
Gallivanting.
Like that word? Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody knows me for the, you know, choice vocabulary, so I always like to provide. I can't let people down. So yeah, and then ending, you know, with the feeling and do it anyway. I think you know, gets those feelings of like when you are out of a relationship and just wanting to go out and date and have fun, that those feelings I think we really captured on that song as well. So
yeah, it's a very fun-loving song. Like I think it's a very like, I feel like it can apply to anybody, but it's like you're young, you're having fun, you're gonna make some dumb decisions. That's at least where my mind is with it. I love that.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
Yeah, no, I love the song too. I think before we move on to a little bit more of the production and everything, you guys thoughts on Do It Anyway and kind of just the vibe that we were able to create with that one.
Well, like you guys said, it's definitely the poppiest on the of all the 4 songs, and yeah, it definitely just was fun for the drummer. And especially matching Mykel's beat, the so just some like fun syncopation and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a great song. Just seeing these two sing together, it's always fun.
My guy, it is. I think that especially when we're singing the last chorus together and kind of riffing off and everything like that, it's that's a really cool moment that ties it all together. So yeah,
it sounds just like such a happy song.
Yeah,
especially just the lead lines and like
yeah,
listening. But basically, like, because we only had that like little phone recording.
Yeah, for months, basically a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we recorded in January, so it was exactly a year from when we first wrote it all the way till a few months ago.
Yeah, and then being able to hear it with the full band, with the drums, bring it to life, and then Sal with the it's small, but it literally makes it for me. It's so small, little, tasteful. That makes
MSG, baby.
Yeah,
MSG.
They're good sponsored.
Yeah.
For real.
Ajinomoto, we're looking at you.
Come on, hit us up.
Yeah. For me, that was like it was so fun just like hearing both of you sing on this one. Just like hearing Mykel's personality come through in the song, and like mashed with your songwriting, it was just so fun. And yeah, like Mark said, it's just like super upbeat. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it anyway. And usually I like hold back on what I play on guitar, but I was just like, take it.
Yeah.
Like, how do I do as much as possible without being obnoxious? And yeah, it's just fun.
No, man, it turned out so good, and I think just all the elements that we were able to bring into it made it so that it could be like truly tie into the emotion that in which we wrote it in, which I would, if I were to distill it into anything, we've said it a bunch of times already, but just having fun and kind of release your inhibitions on your skin. But that's the feeling, right? Like that you kind of just like let go, and being able to now have that in that song and bring it home with this one, I think is really special. And you could just see it every time we play the song. After the show that we did at Alberta Abbey in November, my parents surprised me and came down for that show, which is really cool. And so their comment after the show, we were in the car driving home, and they were just like, we love how much fun your band has playing with you. Like, we just get to watch them, and you can genuinely see that they are enjoying themselves so much and having just a blast. And I was like, oh, that warms my little heart.
Great time.
It's a testament to our musicianship, I think. Honestly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, musicianship, and it's also being able to play great songs.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
You write some great songs, so it's not hard to play that song.
And what's cool is each song immediately takes you to a different emotional state. Like, it's so unique, every single song.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, it puts you, like, the second I play one, it just puts me, like, you know, how music can just transport you back to a certain point in your life.
Yeah.
You're just like, yep, that was that vibe right there.
Ooh.
And then this one is just like, oh, yeah.
Wow.
I lived through that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good way to put that.
That's beautifully said. I think that's a perfect way to button up the how the songs all came to life. And so I think that just briefly we'll touch on the recording together, and then the performance and the shoot of everything, and really bringing the songs to life in that extra level. So I think Sal will go to you. Like I said, I really, it was so important to me to have you as the producer for one of these, 1 out of 13 of the producers for the year. I was like, non-negotiable. Sal is one of them. Oh. And so I think that it just only made sense after Soul Synced and Just Upon and everything else, like leading up to this. I always wanted to continue that, and because I had seen Sal work with a lot of different live elements before, I knew that we could do it to the level that I saw in my head. And so yeah, man, I think that's your thoughts on when I first pitched the idea of doing it, very live and old school, and then how we were able to execute, and anything that you want to speak on for how we recorded it here.
I was obviously honored. And when you first brought the idea up, I was definitely I was super stoked, but also anxious because I've recorded live bands before, but to record them live, what you get is what you get. So it was exciting, and it was I was definitely intrigued with the idea. So had so much fun just planning it out, and I think when we all got in the room, that sort of just all went away. We're just gonna do our thing, and you were in the booth, and all three of us were out here, and you just click record, and you don't stop thinking about everything. Once you checked all the mics and everything, everything's plugged in. Okay, cool. And I think going into the mixing process, you and I have always talked about, we're not going to do anything too crazy with it. And I think it's just a testament of how pro you all are. Just do we have to do anything to it? It's just it's just a good sounding live band, and it was just killer to experience for sure. Yeah, fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the work and thought that you poured into being able to set that up, so that on the day of, all we had to do was show up and play. That you had put in amazing. So much intentional effort into where we were all going to be positioned, and how everything was going to be mic'd up, and what the situation was going to be like in the booth, and how all this would come together. And so being able to now have that in the way that it is, and so true to how we sound live, but with that extra level of polish, that it's not, we wanted it to feel like it'll sound when you see us live, but we also wanted it to feel like this is a record. This is a record. That it's not the live version of it. That this is fully what it would be like. And I think that I give my folks a lot of credit and shout out, because they both really helped shape me musically. And I don't think I told the two of you guys this, and I don't know your feelings toward the band, but I love the Eagles, and that was just a group that I listened to a lot, along with, we've talked about Bread, and we've talked about other groups that are just kind of this classic live feeling that is kind of simple but beautiful, and has a variety of sound, kind of like you're saying, everyone takes you on a little bit of emotional journey. When my dad was visiting a couple weeks ago, I played him Lead Me On, and he was just closing his eyes, vibing to it, and the first thing he said when he was done, he was like, that is the Eagles right there. He was like, just the level of what you guys did, and how raw but polished at the same time that sounds. He's like, the way that is, I can imagine that you guys recorded it the same way. It sounds like you were there, and the backup vocals, how you all brought it together, and everything about this, the emotion you feel on this track, it feels like it could belong on one of their albums. And for me, getting that, because I'm such a fan of their music, it was so special to hear my dad reflect on that. And then over the last couple of weeks, I've been listening to a lot more of their stuff, thinking of wow, they probably were recording it in a very similar way that we just did. And to be able to do it in that old school way, where I'm looking through the booth, seeing my guys out here, and we're just, laughing, having a good time. And then the moment we hit record, we're locked in. And being able to do that, I'm not gonna shy away from giving ourselves immense credit for how efficiently we did that too.
Ooh, yeah, in a few hours.
Start to finish, I think we were done with everything in under 4 hours. Yeah. Because we had the window from lunchtime to when you had to pick up your daughter.
Yep.
So it was okay, we've got about 4 hours, including time to break to eat lunch and set everything up in the beginning. So really, recording time was probably 2.5, 3 hours for everything. And then, we had the foundation of all these songs, and we've just been mixing them since, and to now have them to the level that they are, it just feels so good. It feels like what these songs are supposed to be. So curious from you guys, the thoughts on the day we recorded and the whole production process.
I want to touch on like what you were talking about with the Eagles, how it feels like a band, and we're not the only people doing that, but that's rare nowadays. Yeah. Everything is so processed and overproduced, which isn't a bad thing. It's a specific style.
I have songs like that too.
Yeah, some of my favorite stuff. I have songs like that too. Yeah, it's not a diss on that, but it's refreshing to be able to hear humans playing music. It's not automated.
Amen to that.
We're not playing. We didn't even play the click track. Our click track. Wait, did we?
Yeah, I did.
We did. We played a click.
Well, Mark did.
We did.
Yeah, I did.
We might have. Yeah.
Oh, Mark did. Okay, I was gonna say Mark was our click.
Never kinda.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Either way.
Yeah, but
I think just that organic feeling, click or not, was so present in these, and I think that I was actually talking to. Shout out to the owner of Vinyl Resting Place. It's the record store I go to every Sunday. His name's Steve. Shout out Steve. I was talking to him a couple weeks ago about this, and we were just talking about how amazing the imperfections are, and that's what makes these records human.
Yep.
And nowadays, because you can make it so to a grid and so perfect, it's really easy to make everything super perfect. There are so many things in this song retroactively that I'm like, I kind of want to change, but I don't, because then it would sound too perfect.
Yeah.
And then it would also strip the fact that all of these are the takes all the way through. It's not like these, we did 7 takes and we put this line from this song and this one, and all of these are like full takes. Yeah. And to be able to do that and bring that, like you said, it's refreshing. It's refreshing, and I love those imperfect elements that actually make it perfect, because that's actually what makes a band, is you're never gonna play it the exact same.
100%, yes.
Amen.
And that's what makes this stand out from anything else. That anybody else can do, is that it's that the telepathy. That musician
connected
telepathy that you don't even need to say a single word to each other, and you just know. You just know because either you've been playing, long together, or you just have those instincts and you can connect over those things of being pros. And that's one of my favorite parts of this process. So yeah, man, Mark, I'll flip it over to you for kind of wrapping up the recording and production process of this. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you guys more. Like, coming into this project, I recognize it's gonna be me, right? Like, we're recording live, like, we're band, which is awesome. I grew up in Seattle, so like, I'm just in the back of my head, I'm thinking of like Pearl Jam and all the greats, and like Alice in Chains, just getting into the booth and watching like Mike McCready just rip on guitar, and just doing his takes like all the way through. It's not cutting and pasting, and so it's fun to just recognize that all of us are masters of our craft. Like, being able to play our instrument, that's a gift, so that's something I'm very thankful for. And getting to, actually hear yourself recording, and, get yourself out of your head, and, that's very rewarding. And it just motivates me more, to get better, sound better. Now you can just tweak and, like, you have experience just like anything. But then also kind of getting back to, like today's music, like really produced and like perfect sounding, right? That was one thing I was really considering during our recording, is should I play with a click? Because there are some times just organically where the tempo might pick up, right? Just like the dynamic level. And so we'll see how that, like, we'll be playing live, and that will be a different dynamic now when we play live. But again, that's kind of what I was envisioning. Like, I want to play with a click. It's nice.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
It's great.
But at the same time, we're so locked in as a band. Like, I kind of just want to see organically where we take like the feel of each song, or just how we're feeling that day too. Like, could be high energy, huge crowd or something, or kind of a depressed crowd. So maybe we, get real moody with it.
Me on 20 BPM.
Yeah, right. But no, it was just really cool experience. I don't have a lot of studio experience, you know. I just play a lot of live stuff. So getting back behind like the microphones and really having to just, you know, it's game time, you know, like you put in the practice, but then the second you hit record, it's like, all right, time is precious, you know, like these guys are relying on me to, you know, have my shit together. So, it's just,
you did the damn thing.
Well, it gets like the competitive side out of you. Like, you know, I grew up playing sports, so it's just like, you know, it's just like, all right, I got to do this. You know, like I'm up to bat. Like, you know, like we got runners in scoring position. Let's go, Mike.
Come on, man. Home runs, baby.
Yes, sir.
Bases loaded.
Bases loaded. Let's go. Walk off. Let's go.
Yeah, man. No, I so appreciate not only your perspective on that, but also your approach to how you did everything. And I think I'll go back to it, and I'll say that for all of you guys, the joy that is so present in everything we do together as a group, I think is very special. And you can feel that in the music, even in the sad songs.
Yeah, totally.
I have to, when I'm performing, I have to remind myself not to smile during Lead Me On. Because I'm having the best time. As sad of a song as it is, or as intense of a song as Forbidden Vine is, I'm up there having the time of my life, but I'm like, no, I need to fit the part. And the part isn't a happy-go-lucky guy smiling, jamming, playing his guitar. The part is putting on a serious face, and like you said, it's game time. And so that has to be an intentional effort, though, because of how much fun I have, even in the sad songs or the moody songs, that there is so much joy woven into everything in the way that we play, in the way that we sing. And that's really special. And so I think to be able to have also, a thing we didn't touch on was having all of our voices on these records as well. That the only thing that we did do after the fact was recording group vocals and things like that were, you know, very subtle textures to the song, because we didn't want it to feel like things were patched in, but we wanted to be able to do it if we all were mic'd up during the recording, that what would it sound like then? And that's exactly how we approach the recording, and how when we do it live, Mykel is singing with me. I'm gonna have you mic'd up now from going forward, because I was so surprised by your beautiful singing voice, Mark. Honestly, I was like, when we got together, dude. No, when we got together, and I was like, yeah, I want Mark to, like, you know, be on here vocally so that we all have our voice. And then you started singing, and I was like, you've been withholding this, my friend.
They give me a mic at the barrel room.
Yeah, bro. No, it's awesome for good reason. Because now I've been able to see that on these tracks, and like how cool it is to have all four of our voices on this whole project. In a way, is just really beautiful. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I think that I covered a lot of, I think, what I wanted to go over. So now it's just kind of final thoughts of the whole process. I mean, obviously the next thing that we did after recording it was recording the live experience. I just want to give shout outs where shout outs are due. Sean Ulashin for recording the videos. My goodness, those are some of the crispiest videos any of us have ever had of any of our work. Junior, my boy Avalos, man, for being able to take all the lifestyle photos, man, the extra cameras, and to shoot behind the scenes photos, extra videos, man, the camcorder, all of these things that made it run. Shout out Indigo and Spruce Studio. Thank you, Rebecca, for allowing us to play in the space. It was really special. Also, I sent her the draft of the videos, and she just responded. She was like, "This is," all caps, "amazing. There's so much talent and all these things." So thank you, Rebecca, and to everybody else who has supported us as a band and helped us. It's really beautiful. Being able to bring the live experience videos to you was just an extra special part of bringing these songs to life. And so to have now this podcast episode where we're reflecting on it, the behind the scenes of actually making it, and then the live experience of performing that in the studio, and all the photos and videos that we have in between, is going to make for, you'll be seeing this at the end of the rollout, but here we're getting ready for it in the next couple of weeks. And so to be able to do that and to play a show in the midst of that this show is going to be, it's definitely the biggest opportunity that's come across my desk. And so to be able to do that, to play the thesis is going to be really special. It's a show that a lot of my friends, you know, really are like, this is the gold standard for, you know, R&B and hip hop in Portland. They've been doing it for over 10 years now, and a lot of people I know have asked to be a part of it, and I've showed up, but they asked me if I could be a part of it, and I said I only want to do this so I can do it with my band. And so now that we're in prep mode for that, it's really special. And so you'll be seeing it after we played that show, but I really think that show is going to open a lot of people's eyes and ears to what we can do as a group. And then, like I said, that is dead center in the middle of releasing all of this, so that we're able to see the videos and see the behind the scenes, and then wrap it all up with this podcast. So it's like, this moment in time is very, very special, and I'm so grateful that everything aligned the way that it did, and that we can go into this spring season with just this next level energy, with these videos to back us up, these incredible records that we now have, and you know, see what doors that continues to open, and then what we do next, because you know it's gonna be a busy year with everything that I'm continuing to do, but a big important part for me is going to be continuing to record stuff in this way, and write stuff even in this way. That's part of what we're planning for my birthday this year, is to get together, you know, even if it's just a day or two during that weekend, to be able to, you know, build the foundation for then what's going to come in a future project, and to do it in that live way, all together in real time with you guys, not bringing songs to you, but making the songs together, is going to be a very special experience. So yeah, I mean, I guess those are kind of my closing thoughts. Mykel, we'll start with you, and just kind of anything to close.
I'm just excited to see where we go. I love playing shows with these boys. Like, again, everybody's been saying it, but they're all masters at their craft. They're phenomenal musicians, and it's fun. It's not too often you can find a group of people that you can play with so well and have such a good time, because there's no ego in the room. I mean, everybody has a little bit of ego. Y'all been boosting my ego a little bit in this, but like,
deserved.
Yeah,
indeed.
Think ego just got a little bigger. But it's an honor, and genuinely, I have so much fun. And I cannot wait to book some more. I'm talking to a couple people about some shows that I'm gonna shoot your way and make sure we can do.
Beautiful,
but
man.
I can't wait for it.
Yeah, man. Beautiful. Mark?
Yeah, again, just super thankful to have met you guys in just 1 year, really. And now here we are making this amazing music. I'm the oldest guy in the band, so like this is all pretty much new to me, you know? So just my barrel room gig, I've been doing it for like 10 years. I've always been playing music, but like never seriously like recording or writing. So this experience has been pretty awesome. All my friends think I'm cool.
You are.
So
you are indeed.
I'm very excited to see where this takes us. And yeah, just looking forward to writing and playing more music with you guys.
Absolutely.
It's been money.
Yes, sir. Sal, bring us home.
You all said it, man. Really, just like the first time I played with you guys, it was just instantly it was just fun. It's like, you know, when you show up to like band rehearsals, or you're meeting to do a project, it's just like, this is probably going to be work. But it's never felt that way. It's just always just a good time, and I think that's the key. Like, just plays and just sounds so good together. It's not work at all. Yeah.
All trust to do our part.
Yep.
And so we can just have fun.
Yeah,
everybody's gonna do their parts.
Everyone's so damn good too. So you know.
Indeed.
And I'm
everyone has each other's back. Like, that's super cool.
That's it. Yeah. I think the support we have for one another and the belief we have in one another is very special. So.
Man. When Mykel drops that 16th note, or I drop 16th notes all the time.
Oh man, no,
I just
guys
try and keep you on the
check out his OnlyFans. This is PG. I'm sorry.
That pinky, remember?
They're base tutorials. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, base tutorial. Yeah.
I think the last one I'm gonna say, I see the battery's about to die, so we may get cut off at any moment. We've been talking for a minute, boys, and I love it. I love having these moments, because anybody who becomes a Djemini fan, or any fan of anything that we do, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, can come back to when this all began, before anybody really knew who we were, and to see where it all started, and see this energy that's in the room, and be like, wow, these guys are for real a band, and they're brothers, and they like really, like that level of it, I think, is so unique. And so the last thing that I want to say before I close is that everybody here is such an amazing artist and musician on their own, that beyond any songs that we get to do together, Mykel's solo work is incredible. And I've had the fortune of being able to work with him to bring some of the records to life through music.
Sal's first music video.
Yeah, very first music video I was able to shoot. Thank you. And Sal has produced a record that we're gonna shoot visuals for soon. and and then Sal obviously with his own solo work is just phenomenal. The work with Hiroki, and then Matt, I'm thinking Matt for Hiroki. And so what you and Matt do is really amazing, and I'm so honored that I met you through Matt.
Yeah.
That all the way that went was so cool, and then opening the door then for all of you guys, and then for Mark, what you've been able to do with so many other musicians. And
thank you.
And lock in with that. You're so versatile, and there's no wonder why so many people want to be able to play with you. And
that's why I stole him as my drummer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Super stoked for the Ella project.
So for everything that each of these guys does individually, it all culminates in really beautiful ways, like when we're able to do this project, when you're able to do your project, when you're doing your songs, and everything collectively is so special. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody individually for being I think Mark, you said it the best, we're such a master at our craft in our own way, that then when we get together it's just like, hey, let's just do what we do best. And so yeah, each of these guys are phenomenal. I'm grateful to know them and to play with them and to be friends with them, and to have this band. Djemini and the Mercuries is something that will be proud of for the rest of my life, and to be able to start this journey with something this strong, still in these early days for me, is very, very special. And like they all just said, I'm really excited to see where it goes. So that's all I had. Really appreciate you all watching. The songs are all yours, the visuals are all yours. So thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon with more music.
Peace.
Take care.
Peace.
With arms wide open.
Oh yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. With arms wide open, I close my eyes, begin to pray. Meteors coming down.
I love it.
Peace.